Hello students, welcome back to the English vlog. Today in this video I am going to cover the explanation of lesson number 1 of your Moments book, that is a supplementary reader book, for which the title is The Lost Child. Now from the title itself we come to know that we are going to talk about a child who has got lost. Now let's read a short description of the lesson that we are going to read. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? So there is a child. He is very much excited and happy to go to the fair. Over there he see different things. Now you must be knowing that what a fair is. Fair is like a mela. And over there in display so many different kind of things are kept. There are sweets, toys, different rides are there, but the child has a keen desire to buy all those things, but his parents do not allow him to buy all those things. They do not let him buy all these things. So the twist in the lesson comes when someone else is trying to offer him all those things that he wanted to buy, but at that time he refuses it. Now let's see why does he do so. Let's begin with the explanation of the lesson. It was the festival of spring. Now from this line we come to know that the season ongoing at the time of the story is spring season, and in that spring season that particular fair has been conducted. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Now obviously before spring there is a winter season. Now winter has just ended and spring has come up, so still the effects of winters are there in the nearby environment. On the lanes they can see, and alleys are like the path having so many trees and bushes all along it. And from there emerged a gaily clad humanity. Gaily means very happy and cheerful. Clad means clothed, means, and humanity here means humans. Now as spring season is there, everybody is happy that winter season is over. Now there is not much cold outside, so people can easily wear new clothes and go outside and enjoy the beautiful nature of spring. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. So here the description of the people around are given, that some were walking, some were riding on the horses, some sat somewhere else, then some were being carried in bamboo and bullock carts to go to that fair. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So one little boy was running through his father's legs and he was brimming over with life and laughter. Brimming means when a particular thing is so full of something that it may have a chance of overflowing. जब कोई वेसल पानी से इतना भर जाता है कि वो उससे ओवरफ्लो हो सकता है. So that is what a word brimming means. So that means that boy in that point of time he was overloaded with life and laughter. He was so filled with the happiness of life and laughter that he was so happy. He was very much excited that he was going to get to the fair. Further, come child come, as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys and the shops that lined the way. Now as they went to the fair, over there so many things were in display. So obviously a small child gets attracted by all the beautiful things around him. So that is why he was so much indulged, so much fascinated and attracted by the things around him, the toys in the shop, that he was lagged behind. Means he got left behind, and his parents used to give him a call all the time that come child come, you are lagging behind, don't wait at the shop, come along with us. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call. Means as soon as his parents used to call him, he immediately goes back to them. His eyes still lingering on the receding toys. Means although he was returning back to his parents, but still his eyes were on the toys that he saw. He kept on thinking about the toys that he saw in that shop. They were so nice that he even thought of buying them. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, as he came to where his parents were, he could not suppress the desire of his heart. Means he could not resist to show his expression. Even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes, he already knew beforehand that even if he'll tell his parents that he wants something, they are not going to let him buy it. But the desire for those toys were so strong that he could not resist to express it. He could not suppress it. He could not resist it in himself. He had to tell it to his parents that he wanted to buy those toys. So he told his parents, I want that toy. He pleaded, he requested, I want that toy. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. So, and as soon as he told his father that he wants that toy, his father looked at him red-eye, means in so much of anger. In his familiar tyrant's way. Familiar means the one he was used to. And tyrant here means someone who is very aggressive and a rude ruler. So his father behaved that way. Usually also he must have experienced that whenever he must have asked for something, his father would have got angry and told him no in a very rude and in an oppressive way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold, said, Look, child, what is before you? It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So obviously mother's heart is tender. Mother mostly doesn't get angry with her child. She is mostly very much caring and thoughtful for her children or child. So when his father told him no in a very angry way, his mother on the other side, she tried to console him and told him that come here. With love and tenderness, softness, he tried to hold his finger. She tried to hold his finger and told him that, look, child, what is before you? You try to see how much beautiful weather it is. Try to look around you, how much good and beautiful things are there around you. And when he saw over there, it was a flowering mustard field. Means sarso ka khet tha pura pila pila, pale like melting gold. As if the gold color has little bit gold paled, means it has got dulled and it has transformed into a yellowish color as it swept across miles and miles of even land. और सरसों के खेत यूजुअली बहुत पूरे ज़मीन पे फैले होते हैं दूर दूर तक. So that is why this particular phrase is used, swept across miles and miles of even land, means there was no ending to it. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings. He also saw a group of dragonflies. Dragonflies are like an insects. So they were bustling, they were moving here and there in an energetic way, and they were showcasing their gaudy purple wings. So their wings were of which color? Purple color, and they were gaudy. Usually when a particular thing is very much shiny or bright, we call it gaudy. Intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. And what was that gaudy purple wings dragonflies were doing? They were intercepting, they were preventing, they were stopping the path of lone black bee. Lone black bee means honeybees. Usually they are black in color, or other butterflies who were also trying to suck nectar from the flowers. So they were trying to prevent them from reaching to those flowers, to reaching to their destination from where they can suck the nectar. The child followed them in the air with his gaze. So he was continuously looking at them and he was trying to watch them, what they are trying to do, and he followed them wherever these bees were going, these flies were going, till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. Why he was trying to follow them? Because he thought that once in a while they will stop flattering their wings and they will stop for a moment, and at that time he will be able to catch it. But it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his hand. So when this little boy thought that now I will be able to catch it, at the same time the flies would go flapping and fluttering its wings. Again the flies used to flap its wings and move up into the air. Then his mother gave a cautionary call, come child, come onto the footpath. So again the mother called her little boy. Again he was so much involved and indulged in the movement of the flies that he got completely lost in them. So again his mother gave him a cautionary call, like giving him a warning call that come, why are you lag behind, come back to the footpath, we are here. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while. So very happily, very cheerfully he went towards his parents and he started walking abreast of them, means along with them for a while. Being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. So now what happened? Again now on his way he found something else that he got attracted to, and again he got left behind. He saw the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out. Teeming means coming out from their hiding places so that in the spring season they can enjoy the sunshine. Come, child, come, his parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them. So again his parents called him, come, child, come. And now where they were sitting in the shade of a grove. Grove means a group of trees. So under the trees there was a shade. So they were resting themselves for a while under the shade of that tree near the edge of the well. So again he ran towards his parents. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and as soon as he tried to go inside those group of trees, suddenly there was a shower of young flowers. The flowers from this tree started falling on him, forgetting his parents. And when he saw those beautiful flowers falling on him, he forgot his parents. He began to gather those petals, those flower petals in his hands that were falling on him. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves. But at the same time, again he got to hear the cooing of doves. Cooing is the sound produced by doves. We all know doves are like white pigeons. And ran towards his parents shouting, and he went to his parents shouting and telling them, see, there is the dove. The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands, and whatever flower petals that he had collected in his hands, he dropped them off, and he was now completely involved in the dove. So child is mostly little children, little kids are like this only. They get involved in each and everything around them, and they forget the previous thing that they saw. Come, child, come, they called to the child who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up they took the narrow winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. Now again, come, child, come, again his parents called him, and now he had got running into the wild capers around the banyan tree. Around the banyan tree there was a path. Over there he started running, and gathering him up they took the narrow winding path, and while he was trying to walk through it, they took that footpath which led to the fair, through which they could have gone to the fair. So the path to the fair was going through these mustard fields, and over there he was seeing all these good things. Also, for the students who don't know the meaning of capers, it means the playful skipping movement. So banyan tree was very huge, and round it there was a path. So he was in a circular movement, he was skipping and going through the whole winding footpath over there. And then they went through those mustard fields from where they could have reached the fair. Now let's move forward. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Now as soon as they came near the village where this fair was conducted, as soon as he reached the place of the fair, he saw that so many footpaths were full of throngs. Throng here means crowd of people. It was overloaded with so many people, and it felt as if the whole fair had got converted into a whirlpool. Usually when tsunami occurs under the ocean bed, then what happens? The water starts moving very quickly in a circular movement. So that is what is known as whirlpool. So he thought that here the whirlpool of the people were created. Everywhere there were people around, and he at once felt repelled. He thought that he don't want to go because he was very much confused and feared also that there is a big crowd of people here. But he was fascinated also because there were so many different things over there. So before he entered that particular fair, he was thinking of all these things. a sweet meat seller. Now as soon as he reached there, he saw in the entrance there was a sweet meat seller. So a sweet seller was there over there, and he was hawking, means he was speaking loudly about the sweets that he was selling over there. He said gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets. So many people were gathered over there. They were trying to see that what kind of sweets this particular seller is selling. And various sweets were also decorated with leaves of silver and gold. वो usually होती है ना, सोने की या सिल्वर की परख लगाते हैं on various sweets. So such type of sweets were also there on his stall. The child stared open-eyed and his mouth watered for the barfi that was his favorite sweet. Now usually children are bound to like, sweet things. They like chocolates, they like sweets, all the sweet things they like. So this child was also again attracted. He was captivated by the sweets over there, and his mouth was filled with water. He wanted to have that, and he thought that he would like to have barfi because it was his favorite sweet. And he slowly murmured, in a very low voice, he murmured that I want that barfi, he told to himself. But he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. But he knew in his mind that if he would again beg or request his parents to buy him that barfi, they are not going to agree to. They will tell him that you are very greedy. His plea would not be heeded means his request would not be paid attention to by his parents. His parents would not pay attention to what he wants. Instead, they will tell him that you are greedy and so you want that sweet. So we cannot let you have it. You are a child, you should not eat that many sweets. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. He knew that his parents were not going to let him buy it, so he did not say anything and he moved forward. Then he came to another stall, and there was a flower seller over there. He saw a garland of gulmohar. Garland means phoolon ki mala. A garland of gulmohar. Gulmohar is a kind of a flower of which that particular garland was made. The child seemed irresistibly drawn, and when he saw it again, he was very much attracted and fascinated by it. He went towards the basket. And saw the whole heap, the whole collection of flowers that flower seller was having, and he was so mesmerized seeing different kind of flowers, and half murmured. Again he talked to himself, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So without waiting for an answer, he again moved on. So he was so much captivated by these flowers that he again murmured to himself that he wanted to have that garland. But he knew in his mind that his parents would not agree to, and that is why he did not wait for the answer and he moved on. He thought that they would say no because they would say that the flowers were of cheap quality. They were not good, so his parents would not let him buy that. So he did not say anything and he moved on. A man stood holding a pole. Now the next stall he came across was of different kinds of balloons. He saw that on a pole a particular man was holding different kind of balloons. There were yellow, red, green and purple, whole different colors. It felt like there was a rainbow of balloons over there of different silky colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. And suddenly he got that feeling, a very happy feeling, that he want to have the possession, he want to have the ownership of all the balloons over there, because they would say, but he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further, but again he got reminded of the fact that even if he would have wanted those balloons, his parents would not let him buy that. They would tell him that you are too old to play with such balloons. So again he did not say anything and he walked further. Then came the next stall. The next stall was of the snake charmer. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket. Now a snake charmer, we all know what is the work of the snake charmer. They produce such kind of sounds with which the snake gets attracted to and does different kinds of wavy and circular movements and get itself locked into a basket. So same thing was happening. That snake charmer was playing a flute. He was producing different kinds of sounds to which snake was doing coiling movements, circular movements of its body and going inside the basket. Its head raised in a graceful bend, and while this flute was already going on with the tunes and the music, the snake was also bending itself in a very graceful and a wavy manner, like the neck of a swan. While the music stole into its invisible ears, like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall, it felt like the music, the sounds that were generated from that flute, it went to the snake's ears in such a way that it caused a gentle rippling on its body. Means rippling means forming a wave-like movements in his body. It felt like an invisible waterfall is going through his body, because his body was continuously shaking and moving on the sounds produced from that flute. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. But he went there to the snake charmer, but again he knew that his parents would not like, because his parents had forbidden him, means stopped him. They had already told him that he should not listen such type of coarse or rough music, the kind that snake charmer used to play. So he proceeded, he moved forward. There was a roundabout in full swing. So circular swing was there usually, the circular rides are there in fair. So such type of ride was there, which was called a roundabout. Men, women and children carried away in a whirling motion, and in a circular whirling motion they were carried away. And also they were at times feeling dizzy also, because of the continuous circular movement of that particular ride, but still they were laughing and they were shouting and enjoying it. The child watched them intently. Means he watched them carefully, and then he made a bold request. Now this time, till now on all these stalls, he was very much sure that his parents would not agree, and he suppressed his feelings. He let his feelings in him only. He did not let him come out, because he knew that his parents would not allow. But this time now he had thought, and he had decided that he wants to go in this roundabout, in this ride, and very boldly, with very strong voice, he requested to his parents, I want to go on the roundabout, please father, mother. So he was very sure that he wanted to have this. So very firmly he requested, he pleased his parents and told them that he wanted to go on the roundabout. But there came no reply. He could not hear his parents. So he looked around. He turned to look at his parents, and what did he see? That they were not there ahead of him. They had gone, and he came to know that he got lost. He looked here, he looked there, he looked behind, but there was no sign of his parents. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear, Mother, Father! Tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. So suddenly a jerk happened in his body, and he cried loudly with his deep dry throat. And he stood there. He was crying and shouting and crying in real fear. He was panic stricken. He did not know where his parents have gone. He thought that he had completely got lost. Tears rolled down his eyes. Tears were coming out of his eyes. His face had got hot and fierce. His face was flushed with the sweat of the hotness of his body, even with the tears rolling from his eyes. And his face was convulsed, means it was covered with so much of fear. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither, in all directions. So he went to all directions, here and there. Hither and thither means here and there. He went to each and every corner, each and every place where he can find his parents. But he did not know where to go. He did not know where his parents were. Again he was wailing, means he was speaking in deep sadness with deep cry, Mother, Father. He didn't know where they were. His yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. Even the yellow turban is like a pagdi wore on the head, so that also came untied. It came down, and his clothes also became muddy. He went so much here and there to different places to find his parents that even his clothes became dirty and muddy. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated. He ran to and fro in a rage, means with anger, with the sadness, with fear. He ran here and there in search of his parents, and because of that, because of running for a while, now he stood defeated. He got exhausted and he felt defeated that even after trying so much, he could not find his parents. His cries suppressed into sobs. He accepted that he got defeated. He could not find his parents. So now the loud cries got suppressed. It got denominated into sobs. Now, slowly, he was crying to himself without shouting, without letting the public know around. At little distances on the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. Now, at little distance on the green grass, as the ground was full of green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes. Now, why his eyes are called as filmy? Because of crying, the eyes are covered with tears, and because of those tears, he is not able to see those people properly. वो थोड़े उनको ब्लर दिख रहे, थोड़े फिल्मी दिख रहे, जस्ट लाइक अ फिल्म एक उसके आँखों के ऊपर छा गई है. एंड यूजुअली जब हम फोटोग्राफ्स क्लिक करते हैं तो पहले फिल्म में वो फोटोग्राफ्स निकलते हैं, एंड दोज फिल्म आर नॉट क्लियर, दे आर लिटिल बिट ब्लर. सो सिमिलरली ड्यू टू टीयर्स उसकी आईज फिल्मी हो गई थी. देयर वॉज लाइक अ कवरिंग ऑफ वाटर outside his eyes, and because of that he was not able to see those men and women talking clearly. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. So again he tried to look carefully. He tried to look around the people who were wearing bright yellow clothes, because probably his parents must have also wore yellow clothes. So he was trying to look in to the people who were wearing yellow clothes, but there was no sign. He could not find his father or mother among these people, and those people were laughing and talking to each other. But he thought that these, as he was very much sad, he was not at all happy, he had got lost, he had lost his parents. So he thought that all these people in front of him who were laughing and talking, they were just faking it. They were not really happy, but they were just faking it. वो नाटक कर रहे थे हंसने का. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father. So again he ran quickly, and this time he came to a shrine. Shrine means temple, and temple are usually very much crowded because people are so much superstitious, they believe in God so much, they worship God so much, so that place was completely crowded. Every little inch of space, even a bit of space was not there. That whole place was very much congested. It was completely full of men and various people around it. But still he lost no hope, and he ran through the people's legs. But still in his mind he was sobbing, and he was continuously speaking the same thing, mother, father, mother, father. Near the entrance to the temple, however, the crowd became very thick. But in comparison to the crowd around the temple, when the entrance of the temple came, again the crowd was very thick, very much crowd was there, much more in comparison to the previous one. Men jostled each other, means people were pushing each other, heavy men with flashing murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. Why? This little boy felt that there were heavy men flashing murderous eyes, because he was sad. He thought he had got lost, and he was panic stricken, he was fearful. He thought that all the people around him were very much bad and cruel, and he was feeling very much unsafe, and they all were pushing each other. So he thought that these men were having murderous eyes, they were not at all good, and they were having hefty shoulders. Hefty means large and heavy shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust away between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. Means the poor child, he was trying to throw himself with a push between their feet, but as he was a child in front of them, because of the pushing movements to and fro, brutal movements of those people around him, he was getting knocked, he was getting hit by their movements. He might have been trampled underfoot. The writer is trying to tell us that probably वो शायद किसी के पैर के नीचे कुचल भी गया होगा. Trampled mean got crumbled. Had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, "Father, mother," a man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and stooping with great difficulty lifted him up in his arms. And at that moment he shrieked with a very shrill and a sharp sound at his highest pitch. He cried, he shouted at his largest level, "Father, mother." And on hearing his cry, there was a man in that crowd, in that powerful, surging, moving forward crowd. He heard this cry of a little child, and he stooped forward, he bent forward, and with a great difficulty from such crowd, he took up the child, he picked up the child and lifted him up in his arms. उन्होंने उसको अपने arms में उठा लिया. And then he asked the child, he asked that little boy, "How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you?" The man asked as he steered clear of the mess. Here the phrase "steered clear of the mass" means that this man, as he was in the direction to go to the shrine, in a very much big crowd, huge crowd, but when he got to know about this child, when he lifted this child in his arms, he went into the opposite directions. Mean he came out of the crowd, he came out in the clear place so that he can talk to this child. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, "I want my mother, I want my father." So when this person, this kind person who tried to help this child, when he asked the child that how did you get here, whose baby are you, where are your parents, again the child got remembered of the fact that he has got lost, and he started crying much more bitterly and loudly and badly, and he just kept on saying one thing, that I want my mother, I want my father. The man tried to soothe him, means the man tried to console him. He tried to make him calm by taking him to the roundabout. Now this man took him to all those stalls that he wanted, that he had desire to go to, from which he wanted to buy one or the other things. But let's see what now this boy's reactions were. So this man thought that मैं ये लड़की को राउंड अबाउट के पास लेके जाता हूँ. यूजुअली चिल्ड्रन लाइक राइड, सो ही थॉट कि अगर मैं उसको राइड पे बिठाऊंगा तो ही विल गेट हैप्पी एंड ही विल नो मोर क्राई. सो ही टुक हिम टू द राउंड अबाउट एंड ही आस्क्ड द चाइल्ड, "विल यू हैव अ राइड ऑन द हॉर्स?" He asked very gently and politely. But to this question, the child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted. Again the child reacted very badly. On his high-pitched sound, he again shouted, "I want my mother, I want my father, I don't want to go on this roundabout." Now this shows that the child was so much affected. He was having so much of affection towards his parents, his mother and father. He had such a great bond of love with his parents that all the things that he wanted before, now he do not want them. His only want right now is his parents. He just wanted to go back to his parents. Whatever desires he had from the fair, when he entered this fair and different stalls that he saw now, that had got suppressed. Whatever he wanted now was only his mother and his father. Then what happens? This man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. Now this man takes him to the other stall of that snake charmer. "Listen to that nice music, child," he pleaded. So again that man pleaded him. He requested the child that listen to the music, you will feel better. But the child shut his ears. वो अपने कान बंद कर लेता है अपनी उंगलियों से और ज़ोर से डबल पिच्ड साउंड पे चिल्लाता है, "I want my mother, I want my father." Again no trick was working. The man was trying so hard to get the child to the normal normal gesture, normal composure, but the child was not ready to take any of his offerings. The man took him near the balloons. Now he took him to the balloon shop, the balloon stall, thinking that bright colors of the balloons would distract the child attention. इसने सोचा कि चलो balloons तो अच्छे ही लगते हैं बच्चों को, तो he would get distracted and he would forget for a while that he had got lost. So he again asked the child, "Would you like a rainbow colored balloon?" He persuasively asked. उसको कन्विंस करते हुए, वो चाहता था कि वो कन्विंस हो जाए, तो वैसे ही वो ट्राइंग टू आस्क टू द चाइल्ड कि क्या तुम्हें रेनबो कलर्ड का बलून चाहिए? वुड यू लाइक टू हैव वन? द चाइल्ड टर्न्ड हिज आइज फ्रॉम द फ्लाइंग बलून्स, बट अगेन उसने अपनी जो आंखें हैं वो बलून से हटा ली. एंड ही जस्ट सॉब्ड, ही जस्ट क्राइड एंड केप्ट ऑन सेइंग the one and only thing that he wanted his mother and he wanted his father. The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Now, as they were walking towards the gate so that they can, exit this particular fair, the man was still continuously making effort to make the child happy. So he took him to the flower seller stall now. वो फ्लावर वाले स्टॉल के पास उसको लेकर गया और उसको पूछा, कैन यू स्मेल दोज नाइस फ्लावर्स चाइल्ड, वुड यू लाइक अ गार्लैंड टू पुट राउंड योर नेक. तो आदमी ने वापस वो बच्चे को पूछा कि क्या तुम्हें ये चाहिए अच्छी अच्छी खुशबू वाले फ्लावर्स, क्या तुम इसकी गार्लैंड लेना चाहोगे और अपने नेक में डालना चाहोगे. The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob. लेकिन उससे भी वो चाइल्ड ने मुंह मोड़ लिया. और again he reiterated means he repeated the same thing that he wanted his mother and he wanted his father, thinking to humor his disconsolate charge. उसने सोचा कि चलो मैं चाइल्ड को थोड़ा खुश कर लेता हूँ. तो वो इंसान क्या सोचता है कि नाउ दिस चाइल्ड हैड बिकम डिसकंसोलेट मतलब कि ऐसा पर्सन जो कि बहुत ही अनहैप्पी है और उसको खुश करना पॉसिबल नहीं है इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे. एंड दिस पर्सन फेल्ट लाइक ही वॉज इन चार्ज. द वर्ड चार्ज हियर मीन्स दिस पर्सन थॉट दैट दिस चाइल्ड वॉज हिज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. नाउ एज ही हैड लिफ्टेड अप दिस चाइल्ड, ही हैड टू टेक चार्ज ऑफ इट. ही वॉज द पर्सन इन चार्ज ऑफ दिस चाइल्ड by a gift of sweets. So he thought कि अब मैं इसको स्वीट्स खिला देता हूँ, शायद ये स्वीट्स खा के इसको अच्छा लगेगा. he will like the sweets. The man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. What sweets would you like, child? he asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. So from this lesson we saw that all the things initially that the child wanted to have, the keen desire of the things he had, that all got lost when he got separated from his parents. So the most lovable and the most affectionate bond in the world a particular child or a kid has, it is with his parents. So when he lost his parents, when he got lost in the fair, he could think of nothing else but his parents. He just wanted to go back to his parents again. Whatever that person tried to give him, even if those things were the ones that he wanted, nothing could change his mind. He just wanted to return back to his parents. He again wanted to feel safe and secure in the arms of his parents. So this shows that the most valuable bond, the most affectionate bond the person has, it is with his parents. When we are away from them, when we get separated from there, our life becomes dull. Nothing makes us feel better, not even these material things that we all the time desire to have. So material things are important, but what is most important is family. When we lost them, then there remains no happiness even in those material things that we had desired once. Now this lesson is written by Mulk Raj Anand. The author of the lesson is Mulk Raj Anand. Now we'll discuss the question answers so that you can write it down in your notebook. Also along with the video, I will send you the PDF of the glossary. That also you have to write it down in the notebook. I hope you are completing your work. First question, what are the things the child sees on his way to the fair? Why does he lag behind? So child sees so many things on his way. He sees the shop of a sweet seller. He sees balloons. He sees different kind of toys. He sees a snake charmer. Then he also sees different kinds of flowers. He saw various dragonflies, even various insects coming out, doves. All these things he saw while he was going to the fair. And why does he lag behind? He was lag behind because he was so much fascinated and captivated by these creatures, these things along his way, that he was left behind. Continuously he was losing his attention into these beautiful things, and his parents again and again has to give him a call that come child come. Next, In the fair, he wants many things. What are they? Why does he move on without waiting for an answer? He wanted various things in the fair. As soon as he entered the fair, he saw a sweet shop, a sweet stall from where he wanted to have a barfi. Then he went to the flower seller stall. He wanted to have a garland. Then he went to the balloon shop. He wanted to have a balloon. Then he went to the snake charmer and enjoyed the sound of the flute. So there were many things that he wanted to have from the fair. Then he also wanted to ride the roundabout, for which he was very bold and strong. But why did he move on without waiting for an answer? Because somewhere in his mind he knew that even if he pleaded or begged or requested his parents would not let him do all those things. So he did not wait for his parents' answer. He did not even tell them that he wanted these things, because he knew in his mind that they were not going to let him buy all these things. So he did not wait for an answer and he moved forward. Third, when does he realize that he has lost his way? How have his anxiety and insecurity been described? So when this boy came near the roundabout, he was so much mesmerized by the whirling motion of the roundabout. He saw the people over there who was on that ride, and he was so bold that he wanted to have this ride, and very boldly, very firmly he tries to request his parents that he wanted to go on this roundabout, this ride. But when he asked them about the ride and no answer came, at that time his anxiety and insecurity came up. He got to know that he had got lost, and he became so much anxious, he got so much panic stricken that he was walking and running here and there in search of his parents, and he was shouting and crying loudly, "Mother, father, mother, father." Fourth, why does the lost child lose interest in the things that he wanted earlier? Now obviously when he entered the fair, he had a keen desire of buying so many things, of enjoying so many things that were there in the fair. But when he got separated from his parents and he got to know that he had got lost, he is unsafe, he is insecure in this huge crowd, he lost all his interest in them. At that point of time, he just wanted to be with his parents, because it shows that the child was very much affectionate towards his parents. He had a great bond of love with his parents, and all those things were nothing in front of the bond and the relationship that he shared with his parents. The only thing at that time he wanted to do was to return back to his father and mother. Fifth, what do you think happens in the end? Does the child find his parents? Now that we do not know, but you can give this story a good ending or a bad ending by yourself. So you people use your own creativity and try to answer this question on your own and note it down in your notebook. Thank you. I hope you have understood the lesson clearly.